Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel, and we're going to be talking a little bit about price in this particular video, and I'll be starting with this piece titled XRP Smashes Key Resistance. Dips could be attractive to the bulls. And I will tell you right now, I won't even tease it a little bit further, that is exactly what we've been seeing. We have been seeing during the most recent dips that that bulls have been like swooping in, flying in with the capes, because they're the heroes of the day, and just snatching up these low price points, right? And just it's amazing to me because you haven't even seen. So like when you talk about the concept of a double bottom after XRP got down to below 22 cent range. I don't know if it got down to like 22.1, 22.2 range. But I remember a couple weeks ago when that happened, I was able to purchase XRP, and I am pulling from memory here now, but I think it was 22.3 cents. And we still haven't seen that. So it went back down, but the bulls have just been swooping in and being like, ooh, XRP's on sale again. So the people that have some money set aside that are perhaps thinking more long-term, I suspect anyway, are the individuals that are doing this. And then there is this piece that I want to share with you from Daily Hodl titled, Top Commodity Strategist Says Bitcoin Aiming for $100,000 Amid Rising Demand, but it won't happen anytime soon. And I'll share with you why I think that the approach this individual is taking is reasonable to discuss. I don't think that he's wacky or with his like, the reasoning for his timeline. I'm not convinced of him, so I want to share with you my opinion on this as well. I suspect that his timeline is low because you're talking about. Well, I'll share it with you when we get going, but it'll be a while from his perspective. Before we go any further, though, if you would please delicately tap that like button, I would definitely appreciate the support, and also go ahead and treat yourself, girl, by subscribing to the Moon Lambeau channel. You deserve it, right? So what about this idea of XRP adding a bunch of zeros to its market price as time passes? Even just one more zero, right? Well, actually, you know what I'd really be looking for? My gosh. And look, and again, I don't make price predictions, but I will share this. Like, if you're talking about a globally adopted XRP, like, what does that price mean? Like, what would that, in your mind, like, what is the price where that makes sense? Because price, again, it doesn't necessarily indicate how many humans have adopted it, but it can be one metric to look at long term, indicating, hey, people really value the actual utility of this, and for that to happen, that must mean that a lot of people have jumped in and purchased it anyway, right? So to some degree, one's going to move in tandem with the other to some degree here. But what does that figure look like to you? Are you talking about like $1, $5, $10, $20, $100? Well, I don't know where this is all going to go. As long as we continue to see adoption, though, I will not be surprised if we end up seeing some zeros added to this. Now, to be clear, I don't have a financial background. I'm not offering financial advice, period. Do not buy or sell because of me. I'm just sharing my everyday Joe Schmo opinion because it's fun to talk about this stuff. That's it, though. But as I record this, you got 24.6 cent XRP available to you if you so choose to purchase. You got Bitcoin at $10,592, market cap for the asset class at $331 billion. Bitcoin dominance has been increasing a little bit of late. It's up to 59.1%. So let's jump into this now. This is titled XRP Smashes Key Resistance. Dips could be attractive to the bulls. Yesterday we saw a sharp rise in XRP above 24.5 cents resistance level. It even spiked above 25 cents resistance and tested the key 25.5 cent resistance level. And by the way, I'll pull this up too because I think I got up to 25. What's the 24 hour? Yeah, 25.89 cents. So it was rocking and rolling. I mean, you're talking about inside of 48 hours. I calculated it myself, and there was a 48-hour period where it was up, my gosh, about 11%. Which isn't something necessarily that happens every day. So I was curious, and so I calculated it. I was like, I took note of it, and I was like, okay, I know what I hate, and I don't hate that. But anyway, there was a break above a significant bearish trend line with resistance near 24.25 cents on the 4-hour chart of the XRP/USD pair. Later, there was a minor downside correction towards 24.5 cent support level. The bulls remained active above 24.5 cents. And the price started a fresh rally. And again, to this point, like I just said, that's about where XRP price is as I record this. And so bulls have absolutely been snatching this up, and my gosh, although I haven't been doing it right now, I publicly stated I did put a pause on my XRP purchasing, and I actually might be done permanently, or at least until the next market cycle is done, because I've accumulated my bags. My bags are packed, ready to go. Let's hop on this flight. But if the opportunity presents itself and XRP gets down to closer to the 20-cent range, okay, I will make one final purchase, and then I will really, really, really super duper really be done. We will see. I don't know if I'm ever going to get that opportunity again, but if it presents itself, cool. I'm just going to be patient, and I'm keeping some cash on the sideline for such an opportunity. And I don't like to keep an excess amount of cash because it's in checking account or anything, because it's just losing value thanks to inflation. It's not. But at least this extra cash sitting on the sideline losing value, at least it's for a potential purpose, right? You have to snatch up some more XRP. But anyway, there's this little subheading though. So dips likely to be supported in XRP. If XRP starts a downside correction, the 25.2 level might provide support ultimately, and it has gone a little bit below that since then. But the next key support is near the 25% level, and so it's dipped below that as well. We'll see if it comes back above. But so what are the levels below that? They do end up talking about being just a hair shy of 23 cents. So we'll have to see again. And I personally, because I am Mr. Bull XRP, and I firmly believe and I clearly understand that the volatility that we're experiencing here is not indicative of the long-term viability of XRP. It's just humans behaving like humans, being lemmings, FOMOing in, panic selling. And so that doesn't scare me one bit. Not one bit. And so if the price goes down, I will view it as an opportunity as long as I'm in a position where I'm like, yes, I would still like to purchase this, which today I am. And if it goes up, like I said, my bags are pretty well packed anyway, so okay. I will not hate that. In which case, really, all I do, if I never get to finish my final stretch goal, it'd be funny because it's the one I got halfway to my final stretch goal, and if I never get to close it, really, that's the one I never got because I've been purchasing for almost 3 damn years now. But there's always opportunity out there, so I just find something else, probably in the world of crypto. There's got to be something else that would float my boat, I suspect. Even though I don't think you need anywhere damn near 7,000 new forms of money, which is the case today, but over 7,000 cryptocurrencies, there's got to be something else that would float my boat, right? There has to be. All right, into this piece now. Top commodity strategist says Bitcoin aiming for $100,000 amid rising demand, but it won't happen anytime soon. What? Even with the Bitcoin halving taking place? Now look, I would love for Bitcoin to take off and have true, genuine staying power. That would be my preference, to be honest with you. Even though I tease Bitcoin, that's mostly just because Bitcoin maxis attack XRP, and then I like to tease a little bit as a result. That's it, though. But I hold Bitcoin. Come on, I'm not a maxi. But what about the halving? Because if we see historically what we've seen in the past, that would be fantastic for Bitcoin price action, as well as the whole crypto asset class, including XRP. So it's something I have been paying attention to. But I do believe, and I'll say this before we even get into the specifics of this piece, I do believe that with each passing halving, it's going to have less of an impact. And I'll explain why as we go through this here. But it's going to matter less and less and less, to the point where even this particular halving, it's going to have some impact to some degree. To what degree it's measurable. But anyway, Bloomberg intelligence commodity strategist Mike McGlone says Bitcoin could be en route to $100,000, but investors of the number one cryptocurrency will have to wait. In a new edition of the Bloomberg Crypto Outlook, McGlone says that Bitcoin is on track to breach key resistance at $14,000 as indicators show that investors are flocking into the number one cryptocurrency. And here's a quote. Our chart depicts the market cap of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC for short, approaching Bitcoin equivalent holdings of 500,000. A year ago, this direct indicator of investor demand held less than half that amount. Inflows in GBTC, the largest exchange-traded product, absorbed about 70% of new Bitcoin supply in Q3, we calculate. Also featured in our graphic is the 30-day average of Bitcoin active addresses from Coinmetrics. This strong price companion points to the crypto closer to $15,000 versus about $10,500 on October 2nd. Addresses plunged with prices in 2018 and were a leading indicator of the Bitcoin recovery in 2019. Right, fair enough here. And so, think about this, because I've seen Mike McGlone talk in the past about this, and I think he's a super sharp guy, and I appreciate that. He, as far as I can tell, he's being genuine. He doesn't have any sort of dog in the fight, one way or another. He's just sharing what he actually thinks. As far as the halving, I mean, consider that, what is it now? Over 18.5 million Bitcoins have been mined to this point out of a max supply of 21 million. And so the first halving, which cut the supply, the production of Bitcoin in half, was much more notable when that happened, the better part of a decade ago. The most recent one, not as much, especially with how many Bitcoins out there. Now, it doesn't mean that there wouldn't be an impact, because even though that's all out into the wild and fine, some of it's lost forever. People have lost keys. I got that too. A lot of people are just holding for the long haul. But for the people that are actively buying and selling, that's the segment of the population that would be impacted immediately by this. Not the holders. Like if I'm holding Bitcoin, if I'm just not even paying attention to it, I'm like, I'm going to hold this for another few decades, whatever. It doesn't matter. And there are tons of people like that. It affects the people that are buying and selling, because the production output with mining, that's where it actually matters. But it's going to be less of a shock than when, and I understand it's still cutting down by the same percentage, 50%. Numerically, it's less significant. And also, consider that although there will be some people that are holding long term that aren't paying attention, supply and demand is a very complex thing. There are a lot of dynamics here. And so there could be other individuals, maybe people that sell OTC, even if somebody wants to make a large purchase, that see what's happening with this and start, maybe price start to creep up just a little bit, and maybe they want to sell a little bit. And so all of this, it's very intertwined. It's all intertwined, all of these individuals that are holding Bitcoin. And so all that to say, yes, undeniably, the Bitcoin halving matters to some degree, but the degree to which it matters might be overblown. And so then you can get these predictions where you're talking about, here, let me go a little bit further and I'll share with you some more of my thoughts, but check this out. McGlone also highlights Bitcoin's unique property in that price does not influence supply, which leaves adoption as the number one metric to measure value. According to McGlone, Bitcoin's valuation will rise on the back of rising adoption rates, and Bitcoin's historical price history suggests $100,000 could happen by 2025, which is interesting, because I saw a video where he was interviewed by Cointelegraph within the last, 2 or 3 months, something like that, and he was saying that number of $100,000 by 2030. So he cut his prediction in half. And I do like that what was cited there was rising adoption rates, which is the other point that I wanted to make. Because that's something that is somewhat hard to forecast. But as that continues to increase and ultimately increases exponentially, which is what we saw happen in 2017 when you saw the mania around purchasing cryptocurrency and altcoins happen, that is the great unknown, one of the great unknowns at least, because you don't know when it's going to happen at an exponential pace and to what degree. But we've seen that happen in the past, and I don't think that the frenzy around the asset class is done. So if I had to make a for-fun guess, we'll see something along those lines again, which means if you're predicting $100,000 5 years from now, yeah, okay, maybe based on all known available data today, that's reasonable. Maybe. But what about when things get completely nutso? It could be much sooner than that. And then what does that mean for XRP ultimately? Because we know XRP follows Bitcoin just like every other altcoin. And so it very well may be the case. And be prepared for this. If this very well could happen. We saw it in 2017. Bitcoin could way take off to some crazy degree. And then you don't see XRP move in any sort of meaningful way for a long period of time, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, who knows? We've seen that historically in the past. I'm just saying, if that happens, don't be surprised. I will not be shaken out by that. I absolutely will not. Even if XRP moved a little bit in terms of market cap, I'm going to stand my ground, period. I am not going to be budging on that because I know that most action happens on a very small, the most positive price action that's positive happens over a very small percentage of time. Just like I made a point in a video recently, I pulled it up. I believe it might have just been the S&P 500 over a 38-year period showed that, if you had missed the 5 most important days out of the 38-year period, think about that, 365 days a year. If you had missed the 5 most important days, not in 1 year, but 5 most important days over a span of 38 years, you would have had a portfolio that was worth about a third less over 5 days. And so that's like, for me, I'm not interested in time in the market. So if things go down, I'm not going to get scared and be like, oh, I need to put this somewhere else. No, that's what, there's so much data on this. This is what people that emotionally buy and sell do. That is not moon level. Like, that is not the behavior I will engage in. I will sooner let this thing drop to zero if I'm wrong from any sort of fundamental analytical perspective. I will sooner let that happen than I will sell a damn XRP before it hits all-time high. That's a moon Lambo guarantee right there, right? I mean, technically, maybe if it gets really close, I'll be like, maybe I saw a tiny bit. But I'm just saying, anywhere around there, it's got to get up to that range before I even start to consider it. Anyway, I could not be more bullish. It's fun watching this stuff. Hope you're having a good time too, but that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!